broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV. This is the after show for Recovery Road. This is episode 3. The episode name is Surrender. Welcome everybody. I'm your host, Heather Joy Smith, along with
Isis Velazquez. You guys can find me at Isis Velazquez and the number 4 on Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff.
And I'm Becca Brown. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Becca B Talks TV.
And we have a very special guest with us tonight, Sebastian de Souza. Welcome!
Hello everyone. Oh, there's a clap.
From our studio audience.
Yeah, everybody.
They're amazing. Gigantic studio audience going on right here.
Huge.
Yeah, it's amazing here. We get, everybody involved.
I know, everybody's here. You guys don't see it at home, but really, like thousands of people.
Thousands of people. It's like rock stars up here.
Yeah, always.
All right, so as you guys know, Sebastian plays Wes on the show Recovery Road. And tonight, your character was featured pretty prominently. We saw some flashbacks. What was it like filming this episode?
It was very, very, very enjoyable. It was also very intense because, as you can see, that one scene, there's a scene where Harper overdoses and Wes has to call the ambulance. And that scene we did 10, 11 times, I think, and to get it right, and that was a very, very intense moment. The whole thing was, but actually it was really, 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 really cool working with Aubrey, and every episode on this show is fun. Yeah, she's a really, really, really good actor.
Great, yeah.
She's a really good actor. Unfortunately, I think she's in Nashville.
Oh.
Well, she's on the show, but I think she's actually in Nashville right now, so she couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, you got me instead.
I'm sure they wanted you here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Thank you very much.
You have a lot of fans. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Pretty sure.
Talk.
Yeah, so
fans.
Everyone who's watching, make sure that you guys are joining us on our YouTube chat. And if you guys have questions for Sebastian or want to talk about the show, make sure you guys are chatting with Becca over there on the chat.
Chat with Becca.
Yeah.
Hashtag chat with Becca. No.
Oh, yeah. You can always hashtag us ABTVRR for Recovery Road. If you're on Twitter, we'll check questions on there as well. So let's hop into this episode. As you mentioned, Harper is now kind of in the mix a little bit. We may see her, we may not. Kind of left it open-ended, I feel like.
Yeah.
But she's obviously an ex of Wes's, and they had kind of this drug-filled relationship, and not quite the healthiest, I would assume.
No, not really. No. Don't try that at home.
No.
Definitely from the flashbacks.
Yeah,
no.
Absolutely not.
I think it's interesting, though, because Wes obviously decided at some point he had to kind of cut it off with Harper and decide, like, if I move forward in my life, I can't have her because she's going back to drugs. She's leaving the house, and Wes decides, like,
that
no,
he needs to get better.
He needs to get better.
I think the moment, obviously there's, Bert and Karen did a wonderful job giving us lots of, if we wanted it or needed it, giving us lots of ideas about backstories for our characters. But I think the moment that we see in the episode that defines Wes's decision, which actually is a decision that is very important for Wes's character throughout the show, is the moment where Harper, they're in the lobby of Springtime Meadows, and she tries to take him with her, and I hope, I'm not sure, it relies on me actually being able to act, but if I did it right, there should be a moment where he may or may not. He may go. You know, he may.
Can't decide.
And I think that's a defining moment in both in his story going forward and also in his recovery.
Definitely.
Going forward, this.
Isis. Isis.
Don't get scared with this. No.
Okay. There are literally 700
She's got
notes.
lots of notes over here.
It's just my
So
own
do I.
thoughts because I see that I'm really into this show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
From a writer's point, like I pay attention to every detail that it's said, and one of the things that says in the beginning of the episode is like love and drugs. It was all together, all felt the same for your character.
Yeah. I think having known quite a few people who are in recovery and you know, understanding the process a little bit more and having done some research, understanding addiction, I think that, you know, love, drugs, sex, all of these kind of very, very these either these emotions or these external things that we take or smoke or drink or whatever inspire very, very, very heady reactions. And I think what Wes is saying there is actually, when he was using, it's kind of actually, come to think of it, it's a very sad thing to say, because if you're using, what I took from that line is that you can't delineate if you're in love with someone or you're not in love with someone, or you can't, who are your friends, who aren't your friends, because actually your emotions are all skewed, and it's because you're using, and I think that's all these things are very heady and difficult to deal with in the best of times, but when you're out of your mind, it's a whole different story.
I feel like we kind of saw a little bit of that too when Wes walked into the loft area or whatever where Harper was at. And the first thing she says is, "Baby," like she's so happy to see you or your character, but then at the same time in the back of her mind, she just like totally screwed you over.
Yeah.
You know?
She kind of has no feelings.
She has no feelings whatsoever at that point.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's true, isn't it? These feelings are both heady, but I think what drugs do often, and this is why people turn to drugs, is they numb feelings. They numb true emotion and true feeling. And actually, I think Aubrey plays Harper extraordinarily well. And actually, that scene is very indicative of of the problem with of one of the many problems with using drugs on that level and at all, because she sort of doesn't. One minute it's baby, and then the next minute she's angry, and before that, I genuinely think that, you know, although you do become very manipulative, that's a true tried and tested fact, is that people who use drugs often do become very, very manipulative, and she still, I don't think, sort of knows why she feels how she feels towards him, why he's here. It's a whole, you know.
Right.
That was probably the longest answer to a very simple question you've ever had on this show.
She really doesn't know, like, that people care about her and want to help.
Right.
She's completely oblivious to that.
I think you lock out the world when you're in that state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't think it's not about knowing whether people care. It's about
the drugs are just like affecting her in a way that she can't tell.
Right.
And I feel bad for Wes, but at the same time, I think that scene was very needed for him to kind of move on from his past and kind of be like, okay, she's obviously not moving on. This isn't going to work out. I need to move forward.
But is he moving forward?
Yes.
But is he moving forward?
I think he will.
What do you think, Isis?
I think you are, but at the same time, you went back to get her, to help her.
Yeah.
You're still drawn to her.
Yeah,
you still want to help. After, yes, but...
Yeah, I think he is. I think that's true, Heather. I agree with you, but I think that there is a definite arc in this episode for Wes, and I think when he says we need to go on a 12-step call and convinces Craig to do that, I mean, maybe in his mind he's like, I'm going to get back with this person. I mean, we all have hidden motives and hidden agendas, and then by the end of that scene in the apartment, I think he again recognizes why that's impossible and why you couldn't. And maybe when he leaves, I mean, he runs after this girl. He cares deeply about her, and in caring deeply about her, it's very difficult to let her go. But actually, recovery is all about, in a large part, is all about the self.
Yeah,
and it's all about letting go and
focusing
on you and focusing on what did they say? Danny actually said it in this episode. He said other people and things you can't control them. You know. Yeah. You can't. You only have any kind of autonomy over you.
So does that mean Harper character's not coming, or
is that a question? Do you want a little teaser? Is that what you're trying to tease something
out? Is Harper coming?
I couldn't possibly say, Isis, but what I will say is that from the end of that episode, in my mind, there's no way that these two stories can't converge again.
Oh
yeah.
I feel like she has to.
Yeah, well, I feel like she has to come back at some point. Like, she needs help, obviously, desperately.
Her storyline is not even close to being over.
No, we can't just leave it at that.
Yeah. You see, we're just gonna
I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but I think that there must be some kind of convergence in the future. Oh, don't worry, we'll get there.
I like that character.
Yeah, I know. So do I.
Yeah, for some reason, I do like her. Yeah.
No, well, I mean
she helped Maddie too.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's talk about that because obviously, when Maddie's mom heard that she was going to do this, she was not happy at all, and it actually ended up being, an awakening moment for Maddie to see somebody this bad, and obviously needing help, and here Maddie is kind of denying the help, I feel like, and really just like, I don't need this, like, I don't need you guys.
Denying she has a problem.
Denying she has a problem. And I feel like this was like, oh, maybe I need to accept this help that I'm given because not everyone is in my situation.
It was her wake-up call because she saw that, like, right when she walked in to her place, she saw that this girl is a disaster and Maddie doesn't want to become like that.
Yeah. Well, it's that. It's seeing. It's kind of looking in the mirror, but seeing a reflection 6 months from now, a year from now, and saying, "Well, had I not, if I don't," because I think, you're right. I think until this episode, she's not. I don't believe that Maddie is totally determined to. Totally committed to her recovery as she needs to be, and I think by the end of that episode, so if she's not totally committed, she's certainly a long way to
she's made progress by the end of the episode.
Well, I mean, that meeting, it's such a beautiful scene where it's
great.
I like how it started.
Does she find a sponsor like at the end of that scene?
I just love the teaser.
She is trying to get every little thing out of you.
I said, wow.
You said that was
the
best part of the scene, and then you see this woman just saying,
I think she might. Yeah. I think she needs to. And I think she
one of my favorite parts about the episode was that it started off with Maddie narrating what she was saying at the end.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
That's true.
It was
that?
I liked.
I have to go back.
There are layers. It's layered. You see.
I didn't realize that until I watched the beginning a second time.
She watches it twice. That's how she gets these
Becca,
things.
it's unfair. You have an unfair advantage.
I can't help it. It's a good show.
Thank you.
I love it.
At the end of the episode, she was able to open up. So we were able to see finally Maddie taking. Would that be like the first step of
recovery?
Recovery.
Yeah. I mean, the first step of recovery is admitting you're an addict, and I think she does that. She does that in that scene and in this episode.
Because at the beginning of the episode, remember she kept saying, "Hi, I'm Maddie."
I'm Maddie.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
Yeah, I'm Maddie.
That comes
I
after.
love that.
Yeah.
The lines are delivered so well on this show.
So well. Every single character and actor who plays these actors, you guys just do such a great job, like with every single one.
Thank you.
It's rare to find a show where everyone is on the same really high level
exactly
in acting.
Well, it's really I think it's really for me, I can't comment. I can comment on everybody else's performances, which I think are incredible. But I think for me, what's special about this show is that everybody's, you know, we live tweet all together, and I just came from there at Disney. We, you know, most if not all of the cast are there every week, and there's like a real commitment to the cause. And I don't know what that is. I think there are two reasons. I think because we have incredible showrunners and we have an incredible creative team and an incredible crew.
Yes, showrunners.
And everyone on this show I really love. I genuinely think they're all great people, and we had an amazing time making it. But also because I always say to people, and a couple people tweeted tonight, and they're saying it more and more every week. I always say, you know, okay, millions of people watching the show would be wonderful, and of course we want that. Great reviews are wonderful, and of course we want that. But for me personally, this show will be a success when I get an email or a tweet,
whatever it's called. We're in the same level.
They're on the same level.
Saying, you help me. Whatever that is, whether it's just a question of growing up and it's something very simple, or it's you helped me to recognize I had a problem and I went to rehab. You know, that's a success. I think there are some shows that are bigger than themselves, and this one I think is, and that's why we're all kind of, you know.
I feel like that result will come. Definitely.
Absolutely.
If it hasn't already.
It's gonna come.
It's definitely gonna come.
It's gonna come with all the, now that we're getting more backstories of the characters.
Yeah.
Like the Jamaican lady.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's a restaurant owner.
Oh my god, I love her.
Right.
Right.
Love Margarita.
Fantastic.
So we're getting
Great pep talk.
The showrunner said we're gonna get to see more of the stories of these other characters.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's gonna bring in more audience.
Well, it's a great thing. You know, I think this is Bert and Karen's and Blake Nelson, who wrote the book, which led us all here. Bert and Karen and all the writers. The genius there is that they could very easily have focused on the love story, the love story. But what I think is really cool and makes it a really interesting show for me is that they focus on all the stories. And this is, you know, it's interesting. It's on a network which appeals to a younger audience, or has done in the past. But there are people of all ages in this show, and they continue to crop up, and their stories continue to be told, and that's really fascinating to me.
I think that's the main point too, is no matter who you are, what age you are, where you come from, I feel like there's someone on the show that you can relate to.
Right.
Yes, and all the characters are so complex.
Right.
Yeah.
That it makes it fun to keep watching. It's like, who am I going to learn more about this week?
Right.
Like, I'm already...
Becca's so sweet about it.
I know. She just is the sweetest.
It's so good.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about Cynthia and Charlotte this week.
Yeah.
Because obviously Charlotte is having some struggling things. She's finally admitted that her daughter has a problem. I feel like now she's in kind of this, like, I don't know. I felt like this episode, I wanted her to maybe see a little bit more of Maddie, like being in a great environment and that this is a good thing, but it didn't quite work out that way until the very end.
But it was good. It was good not to see that, because if you look at the discoveries of people that have never been in a sober house, like a mother, she's like, what, you guys do this and this and that. So now she's seeing her daughter do all these things that she never thought her daughter would do. And which are simple stuff. Come on, it's human, common things that any human can do. But
like cleaning the bathroom.
But for her, learning that her daughter's doing that, she just hears it, people telling her. And I think that was good enough. Like, we didn't have to see it. Just having every character tell her, well, your daughter's doing this and this and that and this and that. That gives the audience a way of imagining and understanding a person that wouldn't have never been in a sober house.
Yeah.
Right.
It's true.
It's true.
I think it's interesting. They have, like, Maddie and Charlotte, Maddie's mom, have parallel storylines in this episode, and they grow at the same time in different ways.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's true. I think that, I think the Charlotte, the Cynthia storyline is a really, really interesting one, and it becomes even more interesting, I promise you. The Charlotte storyline, the Charlotte storyline, to me, is really fascinating because because that's another character that you could so easily have forgotten You know, the mother of the young lady who is now in a sober living facility. I mean, is that dramatically interesting? Well, no, not unless you're committed to making it dramatically interesting, and they are, and it continues to show, and that storyline is really fascinating to me. How you deal with that,
right?
And I mean, that's another thing. You know, maybe there are parents out there, I mean,
they can relate to that
for sure.
Yeah, and that God, you're making me look at it all in a new way. I love coming on AFTERBUZZ TV.
I feel like this episode specifically, though, we saw like so many different characters coming at all different angles. You know, we had Cynthia calling Charlotte a bad parent at one point. Then you have Trish, who's trying to get her daughter back, but in a weird way. And Margaret
trying to audition for a reality TV show.
Margarita telling her essentially you're a bad mom, but really it comes back that she's trying to do this to get her daughter because she thinks if she gets fame, she'll be famous and get her daughter back.
What is this Jamaican lady story? Like there was something that was said by the dancer.
Danny.
Vern. He says, I think they were getting into a squirrel, and then she says, "We love murderers too."
Well, she talks about that in the first episode. She in the circle, the talk in the circle. She says.
See, I missed that.
Yeah, she says, I believe I stabbed my cheating husband 4 times.
Oh my God!
Unless that bit got cut out, and I'm not supposed to say that.
I kind of I think we have heard that.
Yeah, I think that's right at the beginning.
Because they're not going to throw that out there at the third episode for no reason.
Okay.
That's why I was like, I guess she. And then the firm said that, and I was like, I guess she's a murderer. Okay, I want to know what did she do?
Maybe she got drunk and killed her husband.
Maybe
it happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
No, it does. There's a lot of stories.
No, it does.
It's a lot of movies.
You don't hear it. No, you don't hear it in America, but you can hear it like in other countries.
I think you do hear it in America as well.
I think so.
Like in America, everywhere.
Sad.
No, I agree. I agree. It goes on a lot, and there we are. There's another story. There's another real, true story being depicted on
This episode just went in a billion different directions, which I loved.
Right.
My notes were literally like an essay for this episode.
Let's talk about Trish, because I just love her character.
She's the best.
She is just
so
like
funny.
So funny and like such a ray of sunshine, kind of like. But I just feel bad for her, like at the same time, because she's just so trying every episode to get her daughter back. That's her main goal. I think she really means well in everything she's doing, regardless if she's trying to get on a reality show for Ratchet Girls or whatever.
Full House.
I just love her.
No, she's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And Kyla is so funny. I mean, it's but there's so much heart.
She's just she just appears on screen and you can't help but smile.
Right,
yeah, it's true.
But you know her character is also going through a lot at the same
Right. I'm waiting
time,
for
like
that
with her daughter.
For that episode where we get her backstory and maybe a little bit more intenseness from her, I guess.
Feel like it.
So we don't see that like, yay, like maybe some tears coming down.
That everything she's holding in.
Well, I think
comes out.
That this is not a teaser, but that story has to be. There's a lot more there, you know.
And maybe that's
Stay tuned.
Maybe that's why we see how. Maybe I don't know. This is just an idea. Maybe that's why we see her hiding in this. I think she hides a lot.
Behind her persona.
Right.
Yes, it's just part of it. It's just because whatever happened to her, this is what she's using now to kind of protect herself.
And I think she's probably one of the most relatable characters in that way.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, you know. They're, struggling with depression or whatever it might be on the inside, but then, out in public, they're going to pretend like nothing's wrong. There's several people like that.
Yeah.
That we all know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This is really interesting for me, and because I don't get the opportunity to talk to, people who seem to really. I do actually. I don't. But that's all I do. But what do you guys really, Becca, you talked a lot about Well, you talked a lot about the whole show.
Becca just loves the whole show.
What are the storylines that really is so? Trish's storyline is one that you guys sort of see around, and you.
Yeah,
I love how the interviewed is turned.
I know, really
turned around.
Yeah, I like to do that.
I love when she comes on.
Yeah, right. Isis knows. Isis gets it. No, seriously.
She's like, I see what's happening.
Yeah, I like Trish because I feel like, you know, she's fun and she's always trying to be around people, and I kind of feel like, besides the whole meth addiction, like I feel like
I was a meth addict.
Forget about that.
This is where Heather revealed something.
Dun, dun, dun. I feel like I can relate to her on that kind of level of always wanting to be friendly and outgoing and talk with people and just kind of, you know, always being liked, kind of like I feel like I relate to her. But then, like, at the same time, I'm really, like, into Maddie's storyline, obviously, because she's one of the main characters, and there's so much, like, onion peeling back that you have to do with her that's got to come out eventually.
Yeah.
So I think those are probably the two that I really want to know, and I really want her and Wes to get together.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
right.
so team
There's no
Wes
way
and
that
Maddie.
it's not coming up.
I've been saying this every week. I'm like, it has to happen. Has to happen.
Well, let's see.
The end of the episode had me like,
I was like, yes!
I thought they were going to go and brush their teeth together.
Oh, God.
that would have been really romantic.
By the toothpaste.
Very romantic.
Very romantic, yeah.
That's like 10 years into the relationship.
Right? You don't get to that, yeah. Actually, my girlfriend and I just recently started brushing our teeth together, and I said to her, I said, baby, I'm not sure, like, we're kind of young, I'm not sure this is good for us. I sort of feel
You're like, I'll go first, you come after.
Yeah, I feel like a grandparent now. You know. She'll be so pleased that I.
Yes. She's really excited about this interview now.
Really excited. Luckily, she's in England and isn't watching and is fast asleep. But when she watches tomorrow,
Speaking
Speaking
of that, I want to point out that you do a really good job, like, speaking with an American accent on the show.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It amazes me.
You're sweet. I thank you. I feel like lots of episodes start with me sounding a little like Jack from Will and Grace, and I start like this, and by the end of the episode, or maybe by the end of the day of shooting, I sound a little like Matthew McConaughey, you know. I start sounding a little like that, but it's always camp, which it's always like slightly like effeminate, and I don't quite know. But you're very kind. Thank you, Becca.
And that demonstration was amazing.
Well,
That's exactly what we're trying to point out.
Well, thank you.
Like-
I thought it was ridiculous, but I obviously can't hear it.
But I actually feel like we were talking about it, most actors, even like when they get to be like higher up and can't cover up their accents as well as that.
Really?
Right. I mean, even
Should we have a little bitch? Should we talk about actors that can't?
No.
No, but there's even some, you know, obviously that are from Texas, like Matthew McConaughey, who obviously has a really strong accent.
But he's kind of, I mean, I feel like he's done, you know, nobody's worried about Matthew.
No one's worried about him. I'm just saying he is American and has a very strong accent.
He does.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, and you know what's really funny, and actually what Jessie is so amazing at this, is that often when Jessie's an extraordinary actress, and she isn't Maddie in many ways. She is like Maddie in many ways, like all of us are a little bit like our characters, because perhaps that's why she does this thing where I don't know, I think Bo and Karen said this, she will be Jessie and be speaking in a Welsh accent, by the way, not in a British accent, and then all of a sudden literally they'll call action, you know, whoever's directing, and it'll be Maddie, and it's amazing. And you're a bit like, hang on, oh yeah, we're shooting a TV show, and I don't do that. I can't possibly do that. I do it all day, but it really changes who you are when you put a different voice on, and
become a new person.
Yeah, you really do, and I think it's such a cool thing to be able to. I love playing this part because I can be someone, you know, when I'm doing things in England in a British accent, it's hopefully the parts are kind of, different to me and I'm able to do something interesting with them. But when you're speaking with your own voice, it's not the same. When you're speaking with a completely different voice, it's so liberating.
It's a challenge.
Right.
That's why I think Johnny Depp has the best job in the world, because he speaks and it's just like accent du jour. Right. It's like, which one for this movie? And I just think it's great. It's a great thing to be able to do. Mm-hmm. And
I want to turn back the question around to you.
Okay. Isis. Okay. See, you can play that game. Right, okay.
You didn't even answer the question.
It's okay.
It's so bad.
For you, addiction. We could go for the extreme of drugs or just depression or mental illness. Mm-hmm. Have you had any experience yourself seeing or experiencing anything from drugs, alcohol, depression, the madness?
Yeah, I have. I know a lot of people who are in recovery because of addiction, and it's so addiction. Yeah, definitely drugs, alcohol, things like that. Depression is. I think I was talking to someone about this the other day. When I was growing up, and I was at a boarding school in England, I found that depression, sort of psychological problems, diseases such as anorexia, depression, lots of those kinds of things are so prevalent. And you know what? Nobody understands them. Understands them. Right. And it's the same in Britain. There's no money. There's very little money provided by the state to deal with that. And I think that it's like terrible because people are so alone. And I'm just commenting on when I was growing up. I noticed how teachers and parents would interact with sort of, let's say anorexic girls or girls who would self-harm. We saw self-harming in episode 2. All of these things. And more often than not, parents and teachers would, and there were obviously lots of people who did understand, but more often than not, people would be really overbearing and say, eat, or you can't do it, or what's going on, and they draw attention to, which is absolutely what you don't do in those situations. And if shows like this can do anything as well, is we can sort of start to raise awareness and change that. People in positions of responsibility, and that's parents as well as teachers or whatever, people who are dealing with young people need to understand these extremely common diseases, these disorders, which can be treated, but they've got to be treated in the right way and with sensitivity, and people just don't understand them.
And that's what this show is.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Definitely. Like you said, I 100% believe this show will help somebody say, I need
more than
help.
one person.
More than one person. Without a doubt, I need help, or have a friend who needs help and they get them help or something,
Not just maybe help. I know you guys are talking about helping, I think I need self-help.
Like someone helping themselves.
But I think it's also making people aware that people that have addiction or mental illness, they're human. And
that's absolutely right. Yeah.
You treat them with the same respect and love and care that you would treat anybody that maybe doesn't have a drug problem or a mental disease.
It'll help people who aren't having these problems realize that they need to help others.
Yes, or just treat people like it's okay. They're normal too, just because they have maybe depression, and a lot of it comes from a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Yeah.
So they're still people, and I think it will help audience see, okay, it's okay. They're not crazy. They're just they just go through things that everybody goes in different ways.
Right. I mean,
everybody copes differently.
A lot of people have been journalists mostly have been saying, writing about how this is a show that deals with a show about addiction that deals with recovery, and I think that's key, is that actually this show is humanizing very, very common and treatable and very common problems that people all over the world, in every country, rich, poor, whatever, have and suffer from. And it's so nice. I've grown up watching TV shows, and whether it's crime shows or comedies or whatever, and mostly if there's an addiction storyline, it's about the terrible nature of being an addict. But it's rarely about the fact that you're not alone, and there are many, many things and many people who can help.
It rarely dives into this much depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it does. I really think it does.
No, it dives in so much.
Yeah.
I think it's important that all the characters are getting their time to shine.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The reason why I love this show, now I'm going to answer your question. Because I got something out of you.
Yeah, okay.
I got it from you.
All right, you got it.
That's what I needed.
You needed it, okay.
I know.
You're just going to repeat my answer, right?
She's word for word. She memorized the whole thing.
No.
She just thought they were like...
No. What I just said, that people... I grew up with I had an aunt she was a psychiatrist. Okay. So she got to see a lot of patients. I got to see every mental illness you could think in the book. Yeah. And not just mental illness, drug addicts, whatever, because she was treating them. But for me, they were like normal people. They were human. They were lovable people.
Yeah.
Yet, when you see them outside, society kind of casts them away. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's taking medication. So I want people to see the humane side of addicts.
Right.
That people don't get to see, like you say, recovery, seeing the good stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the show. It's not so much the addiction, it's the part that you get to see these people
you see these
in the
people
light.
for who they are, which is human beings.
Right.
Yeah.
And even Wes, in his third time now in recovery, obviously slip-ups happen, and he's back again, and
That's common.
Come on, Wes.
That's common.
It is common.
He'll get there.
No, we joke, but it is. Yeah.
But at least he's there,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's human. It's actually, you know what? It's human nature. I just thought about this. Is that inherent in a show, in a story about recovery and about addiction? It's just really a story about human nature. People will fuck up once, and then they'll keep going and going and going until sometimes people will learn, often until they hit rock bottom, and that is the point. That is often the moment where they are discarded by society or disregarded by their family or thrown out or whatever. And that's the moment where you have to find it, even if you've been wronged by this person or by this thing, you have to find it in yourself to understand that this is human nature. History's full of it, people messing up over and over again, and then eventually they get it right. And maybe sometimes it's too late, and sometimes it's the oldest story in the book, really.
Yeah, you learn as you go, and the mistakes you make, you learn from them and move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if people didn't make mistakes, life would be boring, let's face it.
Life would be boring, yeah.
Any kind of mistakes.
It's true. So
before we wrap up, let's get one of your favorite moments from shooting season 1.
Okay. God, there's so many. I'm sure everyone always says that, but they really are.
I mean, with the cast, the crew,
everyone was. Everyone was incredible. My I was just very, very. I love going to work every day. I mean, how many people can say that? Unfortunately, not many people can say, you know what, I really, even when I'm getting up at 4 a.m, I really just want to get up and get to work. And you know what, being an actor, let me tell you, is very, very easy. All right? I mean, don't let anyone come on the show and sit and be like, oh,
so rough.
Oh my God, it was so tough that day, and oh my God, and it was raining, and and I don't know why I'm doing an American accent, but it's
because that's who's complaining.
Super impressive.
No, I'm not saying that. But it's really, really, really easy. It's tough, I reckon, to be an Oscar-winning actor because you have to do something really extraordinary. But still, it's easy. We're not saving people's lives, and we're not rescuing people. We're not in the in Iraq or Afghanistan or Syria. We're not in Syria, you know? And it's such a joy.
Yeah,
And then it's doubly joyous when you get a crew and a cast of people who are just bleeping amazing, you know? I didn't say it. Did you see that? The refrain. Yeah.
And you can tell just like by watching each episode that you all get along, work well together.
Can you tell that? Well, that's good.
Tell,
that's good.
You can tell.
That means it works. That's good.
In any show that I watch, you can tell whether the actors get along.
Can you?
Yeah. By the scenes, every scene.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, God. I'm going to be sitting at home worrying that Becca's, oh no, I had a fight with someone that day.
Becca's gonna know. No.
You're forbidden from watching the show. Becca, it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay,
fine. You're
Becca.
not.
It's okay.
You can still watch it.
I can still watch it. I'm really.
So is that? I mean,
Do we have any questions?
time.
People chatting with us?
Yes. Do you have people are already shipping Wes and Maddie?
Okay.
Do you have
Thank
you
you.
thought of a ship name? I know Mess came up last week.
Yeah, we haven't liked any of the ship names
Mess.
so far, so we're going to think of something.
Waddy. Waddy.
We have Westy here.
Okay.
Westy.
Westy's not bad, I like
Westy's
that.
nice.
Isn't
Yeah.
bad. I
Yeah,
think Mess is kind of ironic.
Bert and I sat for
interesting.
like an hour the other day. Not the other day when we were filming, trying to think of names for Maddie and Wes. Wes.
I'm trying to think.
She's writing it down.
I'm trying to
If
see
anyone
we can
has
come up
any
with something.
suggestions,
Let us know.
Yeah, do.
Let us know.
Do.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Megabot554. She's watching us tonight, and so just want to say hello to her.
Hey, Megabot554. What's your real name, Megabot554? This is what I love about the internet.
Wait,
like, who are you, Megabot554?
That is her real name.
No.
Yes.
What? Mega or
Yes.
oh
Mega.
Megha.
Oh,
Is she Megha?
Megha.
Bot. Oh, is she?
Nice to meet you, Mega.
Where's she from?
I got that one wrong. I
name.
thought it was Megabot, like a transformer.
Me too, yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard too.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for watching. I sort of am wondering where you are. Which
You're right
camera are you
here.
in?
You're right here.
You're here, okay.
Okay. Did you have a favorite scene from tonight's episode?
I think we have to give a big round of applause to all three peoples because I just think every moment. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, everybody, thank you. I just think that she's extraordinary, and she all of those there's such like nuances in her performance, and there were so many things going on there, and we can only kind of dream of being that good. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as an actress, she really would have had to get into like a zone and be like.
Yeah, she looked awful. I mean,
She
that was all
looked
makeup.
awful.
Jerry,
I know,
who's our makeup designer, who's extraordinary. Oh, did they talk about
Bert
it?
and, yeah, they told us about last week and how like she'd come out with like a sword and they're like, no, go get more swords.
Yeah. More things. Like,
That's incredible. So fun.
Great makeup artist on set.
Amazing. Costume designer, makeup designer, hair designer, Nina and Jerry and Lindy and everybody was we were very, very lucky. Very lucky.
Also, I wanted to ask, did I know a lot of you all did like research or tried to like put yourself in the shoes of your characters when when filming the show?
Yeah.
Like I heard Alexis and
Went to
someone
meetings.
else
I think Jessica
gave up like drinking or something during filming.
Oh.
I didn't give up drinking. I didn't, sorry.
Did you do like any like extensive
I'm
research?
committed, but I'm not that committed.
How did you commit to your character?
Gosh.
Maybe I should have done. I mean,
No.
I'm not a method actor. I never
ways.
knew about method actors until I came to America, and then everybody's a method actor. I'm like, oh, film sets are terrifying places to be because everyone's like just crazy, you know, and they're just
And then you have these method actors that just make it.
Like, God knows what it's like to be on, like, the Avengers movie where people are, like, genuinely, Ultron is, like, really a horrible monster, you know, I don't know.
Or on the set of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Depp's walking around.
Yeah. I don't know, I did a lot of, it's interesting, I went to some meetings, some open meetings, and they were open, so you're allowed in if you're not an addict. And I decided to stop going because I felt like I was invading a really, really personal space, even in an open meeting. I felt like actually, you know, this is a really interesting, I know we've got no time, but it's an interesting conversation because it's like, how far do you go to create your character or to create a good character that's believable? And I personally don't feel comfortable with subjecting anyone else to, which is why I'm not a method act, was one of the reasons why, but I don't feel like any of your stuff should be anyone else's problem. And so I started going, but as I say, I know people who are addicts and recovering addicts, and so they were very, very, very giving in their advice and in their counsel. But I didn't personally feel comfortable being in these meetings. And no one ever said anything, but it was just for me. I just felt it was wrong, you know? But that in itself really helped me because that was a great thing to learn, was how intimate these meetings are. You know, because we have meetings in the show, we have our daily meeting, and they're really intimate, safe spaces. And you know, if someone else comes in, it's like touch and go whether people are going to speak, and yeah, so that was actually a really useful thing to learn.
It's like a circle of trust.
It is like a circle of trust.
Yeah. Trust each other.
You're right, Becca.
Secrets.
It is. Yeah. Exactly.
No, and I like that you said that you felt like you were like.
I don't know. I know that lots of people are very. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I know that lots of people are really, and they probably end up getting better. They create better characters or better performances. But my vibe is that we're duty bound as actors and as writers and as directors. Film is kind of a director's medium, I think. Anyway, we're duty bound to like entertain and to do the best job we can and to be as true as we can to the characters and to the story, but not so much so that you're gonna subject your friends, family, strangers to hell. I know people do, but I just personally don't think it's right.
All right, let's lighten up a little bit here.
Yeah, let's go on.
Whatever you're doing for Wes,
let's talk about shadow hunters.
It's definitely
you guys do that show?
Speaking of a show you don't want to go into method acting.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's do a simple game here.
Let's do
simple game.
Okay.
It's the one word. I say one word and then you reply back what you think of whatever that word.
I hate this game.
You don't like that game?
No, because because I think too much. Okay, tell me. Do it.
Fine. I was gonna make it easy.
Okay,
we were in the topic.
All right.
No, I was like recovery.
We got a few minutes, so let's.
You see, I was gonna go this way.
Okay, we'll play. Yeah, let's play that game.
Okay, go fast.
Recovery.
Road.
That was good.
Wes.
Let's do it.
Maddie.
Graham.
Beer.
Pint. Beer? Pint of beer.
Whiskey.
Jack.
Becca.
Giggly.
Lovely, Becca.
I
lovely.
See, that's it. Quick and painless.
Quick and painless. Okay. Now I'm not afraid of this game.
Yeah, there you go.
Freeform.
ABC Family.
Freeform. Well, now I think
Formerly.
Freeform. Wouldn't it be funny if I didn't know what Freeform was?
Yeah.
That would be really.
You're like, wait, what's that?
Freeform? Freeform, great. Freeform, fun. Freeform, I gotta tell you, which I think is the point. I think of a lot of different words. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of you think
I think that's the reason for
it's free. Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I think that the network is really doing that.
I think they are. I really think they are.
I'm getting used to that change.
Yeah.
Were you a big ABC Family fan?
Oh no, I love the ABC Family. I'm still a fan the channel.
You're just as fan as I am.
No, I'm a huge fan of the channel.
Yeah,
it's a great channel.
And Recovery Road.
And Recovery Road. Duh.
I learned everything through Becca.
And Wes.
And Wes.
Oh, Becca, thank you.
It's the only reason why she watches. Just kidding.
It's a very bad reason.
All right.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, on that note, Becca, let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Becca B Talks TV on Instagram and Twitter.
And Sebastian.
Seb de Souza on Twitter, and I'm Sebastian de Souza on Instagram. And if that doesn't work, it's the other way around.
Just Google him.
Yeah.
That's what we do now, right?
Just Google.
We Google. And you can find me at Isis Velazquez and the number 4 on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Heather Joy Smith. Thank you again, Sebastian, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. Really.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.